Tyrese Haliburton and the Indiana Pacers ended up handling the New York Knicks on the road 130 to 109 to end up advancing to the conference finals for the first time in a decade. Hello there, my name is Wraith Hoops. I cover all the NBA news as much to date. With that being said, go ahead and smash that like button, subscribe, and I'm going to give you guys the most comprehensive breakdown I can without taking up too much of your time. Let's go ahead and get into it. This was effectively one of the least interesting games that I've seen in the playoffs for the most part, because it was like watching a dying fish fight for its life on land before it gets impaled by the bird that is, trying to feed its young. Because in this game, there was so many banged up players that tried to go. There was so many guys that just couldn't play. Obviously, you knew that the Knicks were not going to have Julius Randle. He's been out for the season for forever. Mitchell Robinson was out for effectively the entire season. Then he came back in the playoffs for 2 games. Then he got ruled out again for the rest of the season. Bogdanovic was out, and then you had OG Anunoby go out after game 2, and then he tried to come back in this one. He started the game, played 4 minutes, and just was a shell of himself, and so they ended up pulling him, and things just couldn't go well, considering the fact that also you have guys like Josh Hart, you have DiVincenzo, you have Brunson. All these guys are all just hurt, and they're still trying to dog it out and find a way to keep the magic going. And people will blame that on Tom Thibodeau, but most of those injuries are not due to them, playing high levels of minutes. Obviously, if you play on the court more, you're obviously going to get hurt more, or at the very least, your risk of injury is going to go up because by default, you were there more time. But those were more so freak accidents and not so much wear and tear kind of situations. So I don't really blame those on their head coach. And if we really look at things, if they have Bogdanovic, if they have Mitchell Robinson, if they have Julius Randle, if they have OG alone, I think they end up handling this series much earlier, because they were up 2-0 when OG was playing. But then he went down, and they went down and lost 2 games. Then they won 1 to take the lead again, and then they wore all black in game 6 and ended up getting their tails handed to them. Came home in game 7, limping through the door, and thought they were going to handle the job, and they just couldn't. OG wasn't good enough to go. He was 2 of 2 in this one. He played all of 5 minutes, hit the 1 3 that he attempted, had 5 points. Box score plus minus was still -6, so it didn't mean anything. Josh Hart was 3 of 9 in this one, 0 of 4 from 3. He did have 8 rebounds, 5 assists, 2 steals, and no turnovers, but he ended up fouling out in this one in 36.5 minutes, 10 points, box score plus minus -15. Isaiah Hartenstein played 30 minutes, 0 of 2 from the field, did have 8 rebounds, 2 assists, 1 steal, 1 block, 2 turnovers, 4 personal fouls, didn't have a single point to his name, and a box score plus minus was the worst on the team at a -24. You had Donte Divincenzo, who was the one player that was able to get things going and was just the heart and soul of things besides Alec Burkes off the bench, and they were the only 2 players that scored above 20. DiVincenzo was 11 of 21 from the field, 9 of 15 from 3, 8 of 10 from the free throw line, and then had 4 rebounds, 1 assist, 2 steals, and a team-leading 4 turnovers, unfortunately, to the tune of 39 points, and still managed a box score of a -20. Jalen Brunson, the man, the myth, the legend, who was carrying the offensive load for the majority of their playoff run thus far, was cold today. He was 6 of 17 from the field. He was 1 of 3 from 3. He was 4 of 5 from the free throw line, and he had no rebounds, but he did have 9 assists to just 1 turnover and 1 personal foul, a total of 17 points and a box score plus minus of a -9. So there wasn't very much offense to be had by these guys, with the exception of Donte DiVincenzo. Off the bench, Miles McBride played 40 minutes in the stead of OG Anunoby, and it didn't go well. He was 4 of 14 from the field. That's 28%. He was 0 of 6 from 3. He did have 5 rebounds, 2 assists, 1 block, and 1 turnover, but his 8 points didn't change anything, and he was a box score plus minus of a -19. Precious Achiuwa was also playing in this one, 28 minutes for him, 2 of 7 from the field, missed the 1 3 he took, had 1 assist, had 3 personal fouls, 4 points, box score plus minus -3. Didn't change the game. And then you had Alec Burkes, who was the only other person that really played anything notable. He was 8 of 13 from the field. He was 2 of 5 from 3. He did have 8 free throws and he hit all of those. Also pulled in 3 rebounds, 2 assists, and had no turnovers to his name for a total of 26 points. So he was the other efficient player alongside Donte DiVincenzo, but his box score plus minus was a -9 anyways. So the Knicks just weren't able to get things going. They were 36 of 85 from the field, 42.5%, 13 of 35 from three, which was 37%, which is respectable, but they just weren't able to make things happen when they really needed them to. Looking over at the Indiana Pacers, they went deep into the rotation, 9 deep, 9 players played 10 or more minutes in this one, and they just had a ball, unfortunately. They couldn't miss, honestly, if I do say so myself. They were 13 of 24 from three, which works out at 54.2%. Can't win a game allowing that. Even more than that, overall from the field goal standpoint, they were 53 of 79, right? 53 of 79, which is 67.1%. I don't think I've ever seen that with my own two eyes in a playoff game. That's an extremely high number of field goal makes. Also, there wasn't like 90 or 110 field goal attempts in this one, so maybe that plays into it a little bit as well. But if you hit 53 shot attempts in any game and put up 130 as a result while only hitting 11 of your 16 free throws and having only 24 of your shot attempts and the 13 makes being from three-point range, you guys were like that. You guys were like that, and that's all there was to be said. You had Aaron Naismith go 8 of 8 from the field, 2 of 2 from 3, hit the one free throw he took, had 4 rebounds, 1 assist, 1 steal, only 1 turnover, 19 points, box score plus minus plus 13. You had Pascal Siakam go 8 of 15 from the field, 2 of 3 from 3, hit both of his free throws, had 4 rebounds, 4 assists, 1 steal, 1 block, only 1 turnover, 20 points. He had a box score plus minus of a positive 8. Then you look at Miles Turner. He was 7 of 11 from the field, 2 of 3 from 3. He hit his free throw. He had 5 rebounds, 1 assist, 4 blocks, which led both teams. He had only 1 turnover, 17 points, and a box score plus minus of a positive 19. Then you look at Andrew Nembhard, who was playing in 34 minutes this game, which was the second highest out of all starters, and he had shot 8 of 10 from the field. He was 1 of 2 from the three-point line. He was 3 of 4 from the free throw line, 5 rebounds, 6 assists, 1 steal. He did have a team-leading 4 turnovers, though, surprisingly enough. 20 points, though, and a box score plus minus, which was the lowest on the team, at a negative 2. Then you have Tyrese Haliburton, who went really insane for his standards, if I do say so myself, from a scoring standpoint and a total number of shot volume that he decided to take. Because for the most part, we've seen him take a back seat and try and distribute the ball, try and rebound, try and push the pace, but not really do much on his own. Today, he was doing it on his own. He was 10 of 17 from the field. That's 58.8% from the field, by the way. 6 of 12 from 3. That's 50%, by the way. He did miss the 1 free throw that he took, but he had 4 rebounds, 6 assists, 1 steal, 1 block, only 2 turnovers in this one. Had a total of 26 points that led his team, and he had a box score plus minus of a positive 21, which was tied for the best, alongside TJ McConnell, who was their leading scorer off the bench with 12. He played in 24 minutes and was 6 of 8 from the field. He only missed 1 three-pointer, and that was the only one that he took, but he also had 2 rebounds, 7 assists, 1 steal, 1 block, and 2 turnovers. 12 points total, and like I said, that tied with Tyrese Haliburton for a box score plus minus of a plus 21. You had Ben Shepherd, who was 2 of 3 from the field, not significant in his 25 minutes of play. You had Isaiah Jackson go 3 of 3 from the field, and Obi Toppin playing in 15 minutes going 1 of 4 from the field. But those guys all had positive box score plus minus of 10, 11, and 4. So things just got ugly really quickly, and they never really got better. It just came down to the Indiana Pacers being the healthier team and having more bodies to throw at the Knicks. I famously said, if the series can be closed out in 5 games by the Knicks without injury, then they are going to be able to win. If the series closes down in 6 games, I also still trust the Knicks to get the job done. But the moment it pushes to late 6, if you catch an overtime game or if there's a game 7, things are going to be looking bad because your legs are going to be tired. You're going to be on your last limb. With the injuries that they ended up occurring up to that point, I didn't think these were too significant, but as the series wore on, it was like every game, it was something else going on. And to be quite honest with you, things just were never really in their favor this time around after that game 2 when OG Anunoby went down. Like I said, if he was still healthy the entire series, I trust the Knicks to get the job done early. Probably gentlemen sweep 5 games, maybe 6, because I do respect the Indiana Pacers and Tyrese Haliburton, how those guys were hooping. But healthy OG changed the tide. When you take into account the fact that they had 3 other inactive players that were significant pieces of the rotation that just didn't get to play, and you have a situation where those guys are just dogging it out, trying to get the job done on their home court, and they just couldn't. There just wasn't enough left in the tank. And so I respect the Knicks for all that they did. They had a tremendous season. You have a really strong sense of where you guys are as a team. Really, you don't need that many improvements. You just need good health. Like, this team is a genuine contender. I am prepared to say now, I do believe that they have a high ceiling and a high floor at that. And considering the fact that there's going to be many more opportunities for them in the next coming seasons to get things right, maybe they do deal Julius Randle or maybe they keep him. At this point, I don't really know. But either way, they're capable of getting the job done without him. So it doesn't really matter. But I do think that they have a strong core. Those Villanova boys fought until the end, even though the shooting splits didn't go their way. Donte had his day today. And honestly, I just enjoyed this game, this series overall, despite the fact that things kind of wore down until it was like the Pacers were just beating a dead horse, as the saying goes. But they'll move on to play Boston, so things are about to get spicy on Tuesday. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below. Tell me who you thought played the best. Tell me if you think that I made any oversights and there was something important that ended up catching in this game or across the entirety of this series that you felt needed to be talked about. With that being said, go and smash that like button, subscribe, turn on post notifications, and become a member of the channel to help support the content. As always, it's your boy Wraith Hoops. Thanks for tuning in this one, and I'll catch you guys